Hello my friends and welcome to Douglas on Trading. Today was the first day trading live money with the OneUp Trader Funded account. Now I beat the Combine or the Trading Challenge on Wednesday, and then it took till Monday for my live credentials to come in, and this is Tuesday, so today was the very first day trading. It's been a long time since I've had real live money on the table, so needless to say, my emotions were a little high. I was a little jittery to start out the morning and a little cautious with taking trades. And my go-to is usually trading oil, trading the CL. And I was having a hell of a time reading oil this morning. I watched a few good trades go by. My very first trade was a loser. It was a small loser, luckily, and I followed that by a little bit bigger small winner. So I came out about $40 ahead on the CL. But I was having trouble with it, so I decided I'd switch over to natural gas. I went over to natural gas, saw a setup that I liked, got in a little bit too early, and came within one tick of my stop, and then it went in my direction, and I ended up finishing the day up $210. I'm only allowed to trade 2 contracts at a time right now, so all these trades were with 2 contracts. But all in all, a good day. I thought I'd quit while I was ahead. Maybe tomorrow, I'll feel a little bit better, the emotions will come down. But if you're curious about OneUp Trader at all, my experience with them so far has been fantastic. When you get funded, you find out that there's a couple new rules that you have to follow. One is called dynamic scaling targets, and what that means is that I was trading with 4 contracts during the challenge, but I'm only allowed to trade with 2 contracts until I get like $1,500 in profit or whatever the contract tells me. And then after I get up that high in profit, then they'll allow me to trade with 4 contracts. And once I reach another target of profit, they'll allow me to trade with 6 contracts. So that is an important rule. Another important rule is, and this is the most important rule, is that they give you 15 days to have a positive P&L in your account. So after the first 15 days, if you do not have a positive P&L, they will pull your live funded account even if you haven't lost the money, the drawdown. So my drawdown right now is $2,500, except it scales up with my trades. So right now it's at least $2,300. Since I made $210, it's probably a little bit higher than that. So that moves up and then it never moves back down. But even if you haven't hit that max stop loss, which is the #1 way people think about losing their account, if you are not positive in your account at all, if you're only -$1 after 15 days, they will pull your funded account. That's very important. And then you're on kind of probation for 90 days. So every 15 days they check in to see if you have a positive P&L. Of course, at that time, your scaling max drawdown has probably moved up to 0 if you haven't blown your account, and then you can't hit 0 or they'll pull your account anyway. So I don't foresee that being a huge issue, the 15-day issue, as long as I'm doing well. Obviously it's not a problem, and if I'm doing poorly, I feel like when I do poorly enough that I'll just blow the account and not worry about those 15 days. Or at the very least, on the 14th day, if I know I'm negative, I'll just start firing trades, trying to get above that 0 profit loss so I don't lose my account. We'll take a look at a couple of my trades here in a second. They're not too fancy, like I said. But we'll take a look at that and see how that went. But all in all, a great first day. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. So we'll see you later, guys. Take care. All right, guys, we're going to make this short and sweet. So the first thing I started out with today, and this is, again, this is the first day of me trading live with my funded account. The first thing I started out with was oil. That's usually my go-to. And I could tell early on that I was having difficulty reading what was happening. I thought that I could slug through it, and I really couldn't. The best thing to do probably would have been not to trade or just to wait later in the day. But as it was, I took this short here. I'm not really into price movements. I'm more into order flow. But if you're into price movements, the price comes down here, it pulls up, goes down, pulls up, fails again, and I went short. Now, what you can't see is way back here, there's another low that matches up with this low. And so if you had drawn a line kind of straight across, this was a good resistance area. Like this area broke a little bit below it, but not much. And you can see like this little bit that hung up and this little bit over here kind of match these lows here. So if I was paying more attention to the price chart, that might have helped me stay out of this trade. But as it was, I figured out pretty quickly that it wasn't looking good for me, so I got out with a 5-tick loss, and then price moves up. And then I can miss, this good move down here. I also missed this really good move down here. I think that went quite a ways. But I did manage, in spite of myself, to squeeze out this small trade here on 2 contracts. And so this made up for this bad trade. So I ended up walking away from oil plus $40. Not much, but it's not negative. And I knew that oil just wasn't happening for me today, so I went over to natural gas. Now, natural gas, I almost pulled the same situation. There was a really good order flow setup over here, so I actually felt pretty good about it. I just got in too early. I didn't wait. I was just off my game today. So I got in here, and what is this? This is like 8.28, something like that. I'm in at, can't even read what price I was in at. I think it was 2.214, and 2 contracts there. Price moves against me, but order flow was on my side the whole time. And I was just hoping it would keep holding. Like, it honestly moved up against me. I knew it could move against me a little bit. I was prepared for that, but it moved against me a lot more than I thought it was going to. It actually came within 1 tick of my stop. I was about ready to bail on it, but the order flow, like I said, it was just too good of a setup, and I kind of would have been confused if I lost this one, to be honest. And but as it was, I got lucky. 8:30 was the open, and then around that time, I could see that stuff was stacking up more and more in my favor, and then sure enough it went. The only regret here is I didn't hold on even longer, but this was enough to put me nicely in profit. So I walked away today with the $40 on oil, and this two target trade walked away up $210. If you wanted to learn more about the way I trade order flow, just let me know in the comments. And that's it for the day, guys. Happy trading.